My wife, Trish Stratus, whom I have been faithful to for 3 years, was suddenly diagnosed with liver cancer. I had prepared $100,000 in savings, ready to overcome this hardship alongside my cancer-stricken wife. But just as I was about to confess to my wife, Trish, about her cancer diagnosis, I discovered that these $100,000 in savings had brazenly turned into $2. I stumbled into the living room, picking up the phone intending to call the police. Seeing this, Trish casually spoke up. The Rock's company just opened, he needs a nice car to show off his status. I already gave him the money to go buy a car. After all, you once said your money is my money. Since it's my money, how I choose to spend it is my right. A man buying a car is a big deal. If I don't support him right now, it's no different from ruining his entire life. Keeping this $100,000 with you serves no purpose anyway. Giving it to The Rock is using the money in the right place. You could even say it's life-saving money. Hearing that name, the rage inside me flared up. The Rock again, your childhood sweetheart, you. Go find him immediately and demand the money back. This is no joke. This is life-saving money. But before I could finish my sentence, Trish slapped me across the face. That slap left me stunned where I stood. It didn't hurt much, but my heart turned ice cold. Seeing my grim expression, Trish grew even angrier. John Cena, you are so annoying. It's just $100,000 taken from you. Is there a need to act like it's the end of the world? It's not like The Rock won't pay it back. Once his company is on track, never mind $100,000. He'll give me $1 million. Do you think everyone is like you, making a scene over $100,000? The Rock will be the owner of a listed company in the future. If it weren't for the fact that he and I are childhood sweethearts, as close as siblings, why would he even need your $100,000? You're throwing away your own chance to get rich. Do you know that? But those illusory $1 million could not save Trish's current fate. I tried to control my emotions. Initially, I wanted to tell Trish immediately about her liver cancer. But I was afraid that anger would damage her liver further. If she knew she had cancer, she certainly wouldn't be able to control her temper, and if her condition worsened then, it wouldn't be good. I tried to keep a calm tone and said, in the future, $1 million, $7 million, or even $70 million won't matter. You must get this $100,000 back right now. It is truly very important. It's our family's life-saving money. Trish said irritably. The money has already been given out. Do I not need to save face anymore? I'm telling you, even if this $100,000 really is your life-saving money, I'm still taking it. Sorry to be blunt, but this pathetic life of yours might not even be worth $100,000. Besides, I haven't even blamed you yet. Last time I said I wanted to buy a $14,000 bag. You said you had no money. I actually thought you really had no money. Who would have thought you were secretly saving $100,000 and wouldn't let me spend it? I am the person who sleeps beside you, yet you guard against me like that. If you hadn't guarded against me like that, would I have needed to give it to The Rock without discussing it with you? I didn't know what to say. The angrier I got, the more speechless I became. I could only stutter. If you won't go, I'll go get it myself. If he doesn't pay it back, I'll sue. The court will definitely support me. Trish completely ignored me. Instead, she grew angry at my refusal to let it go. You really are a nuisance. Can you not think of me for a moment? If you take the money back, how will I have any dignity left? Trish stopped abruptly halfway through her sentence. She wore a strange expression. Fine, then I'll go find The Rock to demand the money now. The Rock is quite far from here. Once I get the money, I'll stay at a nearby hotel for the night and won't come back. Having said that, she happily went into the bedroom, not forgetting to turn back and warn me, don't call me tonight. It's annoying, you know? I stood at the bedroom door, watching Trish hold a dress up against herself, choosing for a long while before picking a tight black one-piece dress. She casually grabbed a set of sexy lingerie and silk stockings. Just as she was about to put them on, she saw me standing at the door. She glared at me resentfully and slammed the door, staring at me like a pervert every single day. It's disgusting. I looked at the tightly closed bedroom door. The waves in my heart suddenly went still. Trish Stratus and I met through a matchmaker. In our 3 years of marriage, our relationship was considered stable. Although we weren't head over heels, we rarely argued. But everything changed since last year, when The Rock, Trish's childhood sweetheart, got divorced and returned to the area. After the two reconnected, Trish started staying out all night and began picking fights with me. Every time I got angry, she would call me narrow-minded, say my thinking was old-fashioned, and claim she and The Rock were clean. She always told me, if anything were going on between me and The Rock, we would have been married long ago, and it never would have been your turn. I am someone with a bit of a thick skin. I felt what Trish said made sense and didn't think much of it. On the contrary, I thought Trish had been acting out lately because she had liver cancer and her mood was unstable. I only thought about how to gather enough money for surgery to donate half of my own liver to Trish. Once she recovered, she would naturally understand my good intentions and live well with me. But at this moment, I suddenly understood. Trish wasn't acting this way because of an illness. She simply liked The Rock, and simply hated me. As I thought this, Trish finished her makeup and came out. She wore the currently popular, fake no makeup look, and her figure in the tight dress was even more seductive, even as clouded as my mind was. I realized she wasn't going to collect a debt, but looked more like she was going to deliver the goods. Thinking this, I let out a long sigh. Let's get a divorce. You go be with your Rock. This green horn on my head is making my head ache too much. Hearing the word divorce, Trish was almost overjoyed. She asked excitedly, "Really? You agree to a divorce?" I nodded. Trish picked up her phone, typed a few words quickly, then stood in front of me and said, "The divorce was your own proposal. So consider it. That you don't want me anymore. Therefore, that $100,000, I certainly will not return to you. Consider that marital property. You must also promise not to go to court, or go to The Rock's enterprise to cause trouble for him. Can you do that? Also, after the divorce, you are not allowed to talk nonsense outside, saying I had an affair or anything. This is a voluntary divorce due to a breakdown of feelings." I hummed in agreement. After all, that $100,000 was basically my parents' money. In these few years of marriage, a portion of my income went to pay the mortgage, and the rest was taken by Trish to buy all sorts of luxury items, so I hadn't saved much. Perhaps this attitude of mine made Trish unhappy. She snorted coldly. "Since you're the one who said you wanted a divorce, I'll tell you the truth. Actually, I never liked you. 3 years ago, the reason I married you was entirely because The Rock's heart was broken and I was depressed. I only chose to marry you out of spite. I've regretted it every single day for these 3 years. Luckily, you have some sense and are willing to give me back my freedom. This house was yours before the wedding, so I won't take advantage of you. But all the gifts you gave me over these 3 years are mine. You can't use the divorce as an excuse to demand them back." Trish babbled on for a while until she got tired and stopped. "So, meet me tomorrow morning at the Las Vegas Marriage Bureau. If you don't show up, don't blame me for turning hostile." With that, she snorted coldly, put on her high heels, and slammed the door as she left. The next day, I specifically took a day off from work and waited at the gates of the Las Vegas Marriage Bureau early in the morning. Trish and The Rock arrived shortly after. The two stepped out from a black Mercedes, leaning intimately against each other. I don't know if it was to show off, but on Trish's neck, The Rock had left quite a few strawberry marks. One look and you knew exactly what happened between them last night. Trish saw me and didn't feel guilty at all. Instead, she let out an, "Oh, I didn't think you'd actually show up. I thought you'd cry all night and regret it. It's a good thing you have a little bit of manhood, knowing not to hold onto a woman who doesn't belong to you." I shook my head. I have nothing to regret. The only person who needs to regret As you. Trish immediately flew into a rage. What do I have to regret? The only thing I regret is marrying you back then. Don't go crazy here. Saying bitter words, it only makes people find you pathetic. The Rock provocatively rubbed his lower back. The implication being crystal clear. However, his tone was quite pleasant. He stepped forward to shake my hand. Ex-brother-in-law. Hello, I really want to thank you. Not only because you generously gave me the money you saved for so long to buy this Mercedes, but also, thank you for being willing to yield such a good woman like Trish to me. Rest assured, I will definitely treat Trish 100 times. 10,000 times better than you did. Trish looked very smug hearing this. Whereas in the past, when I said these sweet words, she would only dismissively say I was silver-tongued. It seemed she didn't dislike hearing sweet talk. She just didn't like hearing it from me. She smiled. The Rock, why are you saying these things to this useless man? He basically doesn't understand. The only good thing he did was agree to divorce me. Without a struggle. My heart didn't ripple at all. I even felt like laughing. I wondered if The Rock, when he finds out Trish needs a liver transplant for liver cancer, would still be as brain dead as me and be willing to donate his liver? I kept quiet and smoothly received the divorce certificate. Only then did I feel at peace. I looked at the divorce certificate in my hand and looked at Trish. And The Rock strangely, why don't you two register your marriage right now? Since it's true love, what if one day you fight and break up, and then go ruin someone else's life? Trish looked at The Rock expectantly, seemingly hoping he would say the words to register the marriage, but The Rock's expression changed. Then he smiled and said, I'm someone who can't bear to let my wife suffer with me. So I must wait until my career is successful before I marry Trish in a grand way. Such a clumsy lie. I thought Trish would see through it. But unexpectedly, she was so moved she teared up, almost crying on the spot. Trish threw herself into The Rock's arms. I knew it, I didn't pick the wrong man. The Rock, I believe in you, you will definitely become a success. When that time comes, we'll get married, definitely. That's a given. Who would I love if not you? For you. I even got a divorce, traveled thousands of miles, gave up everything to come back and find you. The Rock smiled, glancing at me meaningfully. I'm not like some people who have nothing in their hands yet dare to get married. Then, he added with a look of feigned embarrassment, hey, I didn't mean you. After all, you still have a house and $100,000. Honestly, driving this $100,000 car is really comfortable. I wonder if you've ever test-driven it. Do you want me to give you the keys so you can enjoy it for a bit? I shook my head. No need. I'm a bit picky, a bit of a clean freak. Once someone else has driven a car, I find it disgusting and can't stand it. What nonsense are you talking? Trish knew I wasn't talking about the car and rushed forward to argue. But the appearance of Trish's parents interrupted us. Trish's parents were probably going to the early market, passing by here, and seeing the three of us. Their faces were full of suspicion. Trish's mother spoke up directly. Trish, why? Are you still here? Didn't you say you were going to the hospital today? I was planning to stew some soup later and bring it to the hospital for you. Trish was stunned. What would I go to the hospital for? Trish's parents looked at each other, even more confused. John Cena said you have liver cancer and came to borrow $100,000 from us, saying it was for your liver transplant. Why are you all appearing at the gates of the Las Vegas Marriage Bureau? Trish's face turned pale. I have liver cancer? As soon as the words, liver cancer, were said, The Rock immediately took 2 steps back. Trish was nudged and almost fell. I really wanted to tell her. Liver cancer isn't contagious, you don't need to run that fast. Trish stood her ground, ignored The Rock's actions, and turned to scream at me. John Cena, have you gone mad? How dare you lie outside saying I'm sick? I'm telling you, even if you die, I won't. I'm very healthy. My health check results were normal. I will definitely live for 100 years. I wondered why you were so generous, saying you didn't need the $100,000. It turns out that $100,000 was my parents' money. You must return it to me, otherwise, I'll call the police and sue you in court. I smiled and nodded. Then go ahead and sue. After all, whoever spent that $100,000 will be known as soon as they investigate. Whoever should pay, will pay. I don't believe the law would favor an adulterer. The Rock sighed in relief after hearing Trish Stratus speak. Hearing about the $100,000, he hurriedly stepped forward. John Cena, you've gone too far. Even if you don't love Trish anymore, you shouldn't curse her with a disease. Especially cancer. This is not how a real man behaves. Trish's parents had no idea what had happened. They were very fond of me, treating me better than their own flesh and blood. Therefore, they didn't care about the $100,000, only looking at me to ask, John Cena, is this cancer business true or false, son? I sighed. At this point, no matter what I said, no one would believe me. I suggest everyone go to the hospital to check and confirm. Having said that, I turned and walked away without a hint of lingering attachment. Reaching the intersection, I could still hear Trish screaming, I'm not going. He's intentionally tricking me. If I go, he'll laugh himself to death. I drove back to the company, the first task being to find the leader, Triple H. Last time you mentioned sending me to Miami to be the project manager. Is that offer still valid? Triple H was surprised at first. Didn't you ask for the day off today? Then he nodded. Of course it's still valid. I saved that position for you. I simply don't trust anyone else to do it. I thanked Triple H for his trust, then solemnly nodded. Triple H, then I officially confirm now. I agree to take the job out of state. As soon as those words were spoken, Triple H was stunned. Is the sun rising in the west? Before, when I mentioned it, didn't you say you had to stay locally to take care of your wife, saying she didn't know how to do anything and couldn't live independently? That if you weren't around, she might starve to death? You refused to go no matter what I said? Is your wife going with you? There's no way a devoted husband like you would abandon his wife, right? I smiled bitterly. My wife had an affair. I should be loyal to my career instead. After all, money doesn't betray you. Triple H sighed repeatedly to comfort me, both increasing my salary and arranging accommodation for me, scheduling the first of next month to report to Miami. He was even generous enough to give me half a month off to rest properly. I did some simple packing and went straight home. Upon arriving, I discovered that the house had basically been stripped clean by Trish. She was truly quick-handed, accomplishing so much in such a short time. Normally, if I just asked her to take the dishes to the kitchen after eating, she would make excuses. Indeed, the power of love is great. While I was cleaning the messy house, I received a call from the doctor. John Cena. I'm the doctor from Mayo Clinic. Didn't you have an appointment to bring your wife for admission today? Why haven't you arrived? I almost forgot about this. I gave a forced smile. Trish and I are divorced now. I suggest you contact her directly, it would be better. The doctor on the other end hesitated before speaking. John Cena, to be honest, I just called Trish. But as soon as Trish picked up, she cursed me out. She called me a scammer. Said I was conspiring with you to trick her. She also said she's in great health. And conveniently cursed my whole family too. I know cancer patients can have irritable tempers, but someone as irritable as Trish is a first for me. She even said she'd find time to file a complaint against me, make me lose my job, and said she'd sue me in court and send me to prison and whatnot. I sighed. I'm so sorry, doctor, but there's nothing I can do anymore. I hope she figures it out on her own. The doctor had contacted Trish, so he naturally understood what kind of person she was. Seeing that I had no way to help, he didn't know what to say and could only sigh, but human life is important after all. So I still thought maybe you could persuade her, but if you, John Cena, also have no way, then so be it, to each their own fate. The following week, I had a rare bit of free time. I happened to hear that a former classmate was hospitalized. Thinking I had nothing to do and was about to leave the area next month, I specifically bought a gift to visit. Not long after stepping out of the patient's room, I saw Trish making a scene. I'm telling you all, your hospital is intentionally deceiving patients and cursing them with cancer. I will definitely sue you all and ruin your reputations. You are a bunch of quacks. Do you think I'll be terrified hearing I have cancer just so you can laugh at me? Don't think I don't know. You're all conspiring with John Cena to trick me. At this moment, The Rock was standing nearby, his expression not looking very good, appearing as if he really didn't want to admit he was with Trish. He even hid behind the crowd, pretending to be just another onlooker. But it made sense. Trish at this moment was baring her fangs and claws, looking like a monster, completely different from the sexy, seductive Trish from before. The doctor had told me before that liver cancer patients have a certain probability of personality changes. Now I fully believed it. The doctor's face was scratched bloody by Trish, but he didn't dare to hit back, only clutching his head and shouting, "Trish, I am not lying. You really have liver cancer. If you doubt the test results, we support you in getting re-tested. But making a scene like this is pointless. Making a scene like this is also a violation of the law, even if you aren't worried about jail. Think about whether your body can take it. Anger damages the liver most. You already missed your scheduled admission last time. Now the situation is clearly much worse." Trish's scene became more and more violent. "You're lying. You say I have cancer. What is your proof?" A few security guards came over and pushed Trish down into a chair. The doctor, who had just been scratched, finally had his hands free and immediately took out the medical records. "Trish, calm down first. These are your medical records. I'll flip through every page for you. Look. These are your results. Primary liver cancer is a high-risk condition. It's already very dangerous. The best plan right now is a liver transplant. You should have realized it yourself. Don't you feel pain in the liver area? Frequent fevers and fatigue?" Looking at this, Trish finally calmed down. How is that possible? My results were clearly perfectly normal. If there was a problem, why didn't you tell me?" The doctor also breathed a sigh of relief. "Trish, your husband and parents all knew about it. Your husband even specifically did a transplant match test. And miraculously, it was a success. It was originally settled that you'd be admitted for surgery last week. And the $100,000 for the surgery was already prepared. As it turned out, you didn't show up that day. And when our doctor called you, you didn't believe us. We had no other choice." Hearing this, Trish's body went limp, and she slid right off the chair, fainting on the ground. The Rock tried to sneak away, but was pulled back by security. "You're the one who came with her, right? Why are you running when she's fainted?" I smiled, intending to leave, but The Rock's sharp eyes spotted me. He dragged me over to Trish's side. "John Cena, you can't just abandon Trish. Trish is your wife of 3 years." I violently shook off The Rock's hand. "Did you forget? Trish stole my life-saving money to buy a car for you and gave me a green horn. I'm not an idiot. Why should I die for a woman who doesn't love me?" The Rock naturally had nothing to say, but he had no intention of arguing with me. Instead, taking advantage of the distraction, he directly ran away. I thought for a moment and didn't leave, not because I still held any illusions about Trish, but because I was very curious to see how Trish would react after knowing she had cancer. But watching The Rock run faster than a rabbit, completely unconcerned about the unconscious Trish, I only found it incredibly ironic. Even though Trish Stratus and I didn't have a deep romantic history before. After we got married, I pampered her to the fullest. My income wasn't low, it was above average. I was very frugal with myself, but very generous with Trish. I also treated Trish's parents like my own. I felt that I was a good husband, but Trish didn't like it. Even though she knew clearly that I never lied, she still didn't believe the news that she had cancer. But I can't blame Trish for not believing me. Actually, her health check results were indeed perfectly normal. That was because the abnormal report was only communicated to me after it had been rechecked. Because cancer diagnoses are often reported to the family first. not the patient. After learning about this, I crouched at the hospital gate and cried for half a day, but I quickly regained my composure. I asked the doctor to perform a transplant match test first. After getting the results, I went to Trish's parents to explain the situation, begging them to keep it a secret and begging them to lend me money. I repeatedly promised I would pay them back. But Trish's parents trusted me completely. They didn't need a promissory note, nor did they ask further questions, and gave me the money directly. Actually, I still feel lucky. If it hadn't been for that argument, perhaps I would have already completed the admission procedures, ready to give my liver to Trish. Based on Trish's words, it's not hard to imagine what I would have had to endure after donating my liver. Thinking of that, my whole body trembles. A few hours later, Trish finally woke up. When she woke, her face was panicked, but seeing me, she tried to act calm. "Did you come here to watch me fail? Do you think that because I have cancer and divorced you, I'll regret it?" I looked at her strangely. "So you mean to say you don't regret it?" Trish nodded, but her voice trembled. "What do I have to regret? You could donate your liver to me, so why can't The Rock do the same? The Rock has savings. Selling that car is enough money to treat me. I don't want to accept your liver and then be bound by the debt of saving my life, living miserably with you forever. Love is the greatest miracle. As long as The Rock and I are together, I'm confident I can beat cancer. I will live well, and I absolutely won't let you look down on me." I was truly moved to laughter by these words. "Trish, would you like to see if there is anyone else in this hospital room besides me?" Trish guiltily glanced around the room and continued. "I know, The Rock must have gone to get money for me. He loves me so much. How could he abandon me?" I pointed at Trish's cell phone. "Go ahead and call your true love. See what your true love is doing. It'll save you from having to argue with me here." Trish glared at me, picked up the phone, and started calling, but the more she called, the darker her face became. By the time the 10th call ended, and the ringing changed to a notification that the phone was turned off, Trish's face finally went black. I smiled. "Well, is your true love out of the coverage area? Why didn't I hear your true love's voice coming from the other end? Am I deaf?" Trish stuttered and stammered for a while, but couldn't find the words. I, on the other hand, was very interested in talking. Actually, during this time, when I had nothing to do, I happened to investigate The Rock a bit. This time, I was shocked. It turns out The Rock, is still in the middle of a remarriage situation. "What did you say? I don't believe you." Trish's voice trembled, but she remained stubborn. I didn't explain much, just continued. The Rock had a son after marrying his wife. But he was too much of a playboy, fooling around with mistresses and side pieces everywhere. His wife demanded a divorce. The Rock refused to let go. But his wife was determined and kicked him out of the house. For the past few years, he's only known how to be a parasite. He has no other skills. With no other choice, he thought of his childhood sweetheart thousands of miles away, quickly borrowed some money, and came to find her. Trish probably believed it now, because at this moment she cried violently, sobbing. "Why didn't you say so sooner? Why, you've ruined me. Do you know that, if I had known he was that kind of person, how could I have followed him? How could I have given him the money? And I definitely wouldn't have divorced you. What on earth did you want to harm me for? What did I ever do wrong to you?" I gave a cold laugh. "Why? From the first day you insisted on going to dinner with him, I told you, this man looks silver-tongued and is absolutely not a good person. Furthermore, as soon as he returned, he said he wanted to start a company. But he couldn't even explain what the company would do. Every single thing. Didn't I tell you? But which one did you believe? Every time, you said I was unreasonable, said I was being baselessly jealous. Now that the truth is out, you come here to blame me. Do you have no shame? Do you have no conscience? Be a human being." Trish saw that I was about to leave and couldn't save face anymore. She stumbled out of bed, almost crawling on the floor, and grabbed my pant leg tightly. "Hubby, I beg you, don't go. If you go, I'll Really die? Did you forget the words you said when we married? You said you would treat me well, would love me for a lifetime. For better or for worse. How can you change just like that? Can we start over? I can still be saved. If you just sell the house, we'll have money. You can still donate your liver to me. I can still love you like before. When I'm cured, I can have children for you. Don't you like children the most? I only felt disgusted and amused. I know you take me for a fool, but I am truly not a fool. Instead of begging me here, you'd be better off finding your childhood sweetheart and true love, The Rock, to get your money back. Maybe with that money, you could live a few days longer. Trish begged piteously, but I wasn't the least bit moved. Suddenly, Trish looked at me with a fierce gaze. If you don't save me, I'll go to your company. I'll let the whole world know that you knew your wife was sick and deliberately divorced her. Your crimes are heaven sent. Even if I die, I'll drag you down with me as a cushion. I made a please gesture. Then go ahead. I'm afraid you'll die too quickly. If you hesitate for a few more days, you might not be able to go at all. Trish was shocked. You aren't afraid? You aren't afraid I'll expose you? I shook my head. It's not like there are no surveillance cameras in the house. The things you said to me back then are all documented as evidence. Go ahead and expose me. I'll clarify it later. After hearing this, Trish completely lost her will and collapsed to the floor, crying bitterly. I sighed, but my tone was full of schadenfreude. I just checked. The Rock has driven away, taking all of your designer handbags with him. Now, you truly have nothing left. Trish Stratus's face was almost contorted with rage. She wouldn't stop saying how much she regretted it. Hubby, please give me a chance. One day as husband and wife means 100 days of gratitude. We've been married for over 1,000 days. You treated me so well. Normally you wouldn't even let me wash my own underwear. How can you just say you'll let me die and then let me die? I couldn't be bothered to pay her any attention and strode out of the hospital room. However, Trish didn't let me off that easily. Regardless of her illness, she came to my house every day to kneel and apologize at my door. She even dragged her parents into it, and they kept calling me. But Trish's parents were still sensible people. After realizing I truly had no intention of going back, they simply said, sorry, to me and stopped bothering me. Even though I was glad to see Trish at my door, repenting every day, I am not a priest, and my doorstep is not a confessional. I decided to be kind and called The Rock's wife, explaining the relationship between The Rock and Trish. The Rock's wife, Stephanie McMahon, was struggling to find a reason to divorce him. The next day, she aggressively led a group of people to the hospital to find Trish. I didn't go to the scene of this mistress catching, but countless curious onlookers automatically started live streams, leaving Trish's shame with nowhere to hide. Trish had been tormented by illness until she was haggard. Her hospital gown was crumpled. She looked piteously at Stephanie McMahon. Sister, I am also innocent. I had no idea The Rock wasn't divorced. I am also a victim. You are also a woman. I beg you to forgive me. Stephanie McMahon let out a "Phut, you damn green tea. Who are you calling sister? Whose sister are you? Innocent. You call him The Rock. The Rock, so intimately, and you're still innocent?" Trish hurriedly knelt down. Stephanie McMahon, I truly didn't know The Rock was still married. I was tricked by him. I beg you to tell me where The Rock is. He took my life-saving money. Stephanie McMahon sneered, took out her cell phone, and placed the message on the screen in front of the enthusiastic citizens. We all opened our eyes wide to look together. On the message, it read, "Please stop calling my boyfriend. No love means no love. You keep clinging to my boyfriend and won't get a divorce. It's truly disgusting. As a woman, you should have some self-respect." Everyone looked at the content of the message and let out sounds of contemptuous laughter. I was also shocked. I didn't expect Trish to love The Rock so much that she was willing to be a mistress for love. Stephanie McMahon turned back to look at Trish lying on the ground. You're innocent. What are you still pretending for? Didn't you use The Rock's phone to send this message to me? You clearly knew The Rock Had a family yet you deliberately interfered. You even dare ask me where he's died off to. I'm telling you, I came here this time to make a scene. I want everyone to know The Rock had an affair. So that's why I want a divorce. Having said that, she tore at Trish's clothes. Since you're so cheap, let everyone see just how cheap you are. Trish's clothes were torn open. And the live stream rooms were blocked one by one for this reason. After this live stream, I left my home state and went to work. I never saw Trish again. It wasn't until half a year later that I learned the rest of their story from the news. Trish somehow managed to actually find The Rock. She demanded The Rock return the money right on the street. The Rock indifferently told everyone. This woman begged me to buy a car herself. She offered herself to me. Now that she's done sleeping with me, she's forcing me to pay. How is that possible? The people around them gossiped loudly, with ridicule clear on their faces. Trish must have been very ill by then. Her whole body had turned yellow. I knew she was certainly beyond saving. When she heard The Rock say those words that stabbed into her heart and soul, she couldn't take it anymore. She directly pulled out a knife and stabbed it into The Rock's heart. The Rock didn't expect Trish to do such a thing. He didn't even have time to struggle before he went limp and fell, dying on the spot. Trish was apprehended by the police, but before she could go to court, she passed away due to her severe illness. I don't know if she regretted it when she died. Regretted that she shouldn't have taken her life-saving money to buy a car for The Rock. Regretted that she shouldn't have divorced me. I can't know these things, but I'm not too curious, because in New York City, I have also found a new destiny. I believe that in the near future, I will build a new family. I will have a wife who loves me with all her heart, and I will have healthy, energetic children. My life is filled with light.